Hey everybody, Rafa here, and I've had a couple of people ask me if I could do a couple of motivational / life advice type videos besides all of the toy videos that I make. And I'm an academic advisor, full disclosure, and one day I'd like to be a motivational speaker. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And really, I just kind of want to pass on a lot of the wisdom and a lot of the things that I've learned to help people do better, not just academically, but in life. So this series is now going to be focused on providing some backbone, some production as far as what are some things that we can do to improve as people and some skills that could be used both academically, socially, and culturally. Don't know what I'm going to call it yet. Maybe Rafa's Ramblings, don't know yet. That doesn't really matter. The purpose is kind of what I'm going to talk to you about today. And for this first video, I really wanted to talk about something that I think is super important that'll help you in your everyday life. And that is the concept of intelligence. One thing that we're told all the time is that some people are smarter than others. But how do you measure intelligence? How can you tell if you are smart or if you're smarter than somebody else? Well, what I want you to know is when it comes to intelligence, there's a lot of different factors that are in it, and it doesn't all have to do with academics. Just because you're good at math or not good at math doesn't make you smart or dumb. In fact, it's all about that idea of what you have within yourself. Intelligence is something that grows, it's something that builds, and it's something that you have to seek out. And someone who has a high school education and works at a farm, being able to raise their own cattle and have a successful business in their perspective, I mean, they're no less intelligent than someone who has a master's degree. The knowledge might be different, but I say what really counts as intelligence is something where how are you using it to better your life? And that's kind of the purpose, because one of the purposes of life is to have a good life. But what does that mean and how do you get there? We think of it as you're born onto this earth to grow up, to get a job, to get married, and then to live your life. But really, the purpose should be focused on driving your passions and putting yourself in a position where you're able to do the things that you love. So what I wanted to give you were 3 surefire tips that will be very beneficial in making sure that 1, you feel intelligent, 2, you're bettering yourself, and 3, you're putting yourself in a position where you can start to look at it as, am I going the right way? Am I learning what I'm supposed to be learning to have a successful life? Because that's what this is. Intelligence is really focused on, do you have a successful life? So the first thing is you want to adapt to your surroundings. As human beings, adapting to your surroundings is something that are really, really, really important. And what I mean by that is we as people, we're able to adapt to so many different things. The human body itself can react to so many different situations where we're able to better ourselves, right? Whether it's a new location, whether you're into a new family, whether or not you're in a situation where you have to be better at whatever you're doing. The idea is if you can adapt, if you can take pieces of it and get better at it, right? Going to a new school. Are you going somewhere else? Are you meeting new people? Do you have a new partner? Do you have to do this? Do you have to do that? The main concept for the first one is all about being able to adapt to whatever life throws at you. Because life is all obstacles. It's going to be all kinds of things, from family deaths, from this to that, and you have to be able to adjust to it. Even in college, right? Or even in high school, you get problems that you're unable to overcome. So what do? We try to learn, we try to get better. We go to tutoring, we talk to people, we get advice, we go to counseling, we get support, whatever it might be. Adapting to your surroundings is the first thing. A lot of people just want to give up and then they go on to the next thing. So the best thing that I can give you as far as advice is adapting to your surroundings means wherever you're stuck in, whatever's going on, you're able to look at it and go, okay, how can I do better in this situation? You grow with the situation. Number 2, you want to make sure that you think critically. Critical thinking is something that's taken for granted so much, and we do it every day. Some of it's on instinct, right? If you're ever kind of making food when you were little, maybe you accidentally touched the stove and your hand got burned, right? You don't just leave it there and then just pull it off. No, you immediately go, I hurt myself. Well, that concept is the same thing with critical thinking. If you know you make a mistake and you keep doing it, then critical thinking is being able to stop doing that mistake. I'll give you an example. One of the main things is a lot of students, they'll go in and they'll procrastinate. They won't do well on their first exam, and that's because they didn't study. Critical thinking is being able to take that scenario and realize, wait, that didn't work, I'm gonna try this. So critical thinking is being able to kind of look at your past, see where the mistakes are, or learning what the situations were, and then trying to do better and move backwards so you don't repeat the same mistakes. And if you keep repeating the same mistakes, then that means there's something else going on. I'm not saying this is something you have to get better at overnight. It's something where you're able to kind of build yourself up as a person. So that's gonna be really important. And then number 3, and arguably I think it's the most important, is acting with purpose. Nothing in this world is worth doing if you don't have a purpose behind it. Why go to school? Why get a job if you're not going to be all in? And when I say that, I mean that when you're deciding what you want to do for the rest of your life, what is it that you're passionate about? It's all about the things that we do. If you're able to act with purpose, then that means that you're able to learn information and you're able to use it for some specific reason. For me personally, I did psychology as my major in college because my parents told me that I was good at it. And I love talking to people. I love doing these kinds of things. And so, everything that I do is for a purpose. I want to get better at these things so that I can help more people. Because it's all about being able to give back to your community. And that's something that I've learned in my 30 years of age. And I think that's really important. But the other thing is, you can see all the things that are around me. I love superheroes. I love wrestling. I love movies. I love all kinds of different things. And this all perpetuates within me to be able to showcase my purpose. And it's, I want to share these stories. I'm a storyteller. The whole purpose of this YouTube is so that I can tell my toy stories, so I can tell my personal stories. And that's where it begins. So as far as, are you living an intelligent life? Are you doing the things you want to be doing? I would recommend starting at those 3 basic areas. You want to be able to adapt to your surroundings. When bad things happen, how do I get past them? Use critical thinking. By critically thinking, you'll be able to remove barriers because you're able to grow as a person. And then 3, acting with purpose. You want to make sure that the things that you're doing aren't just to do them. You're doing them for a reason. If you're going to school, why are you going to school? If you're going to the military, why are you going to the military? If you're going to go to do this job, why did you choose that job? And I know sometimes it's easy, like, oh, well, I need to support my family. And that's great. Those are wonderful reasons. But you have to look deeper within that. How can you find the things that you love from it? Because ultimately, we all deserve to have a wonderful life. As much as people might tell you, like, oh, you don't deserve this, you don't deserve that, always keep in mind that the things that you talk about, the things that you try to build for yourself, your passions, they're important. And you need to build those, because if not you, then who? And at the end of the day, that's all you can do, because intelligence is based off of what you do at the end of the day. So please, I'm hoping that this was helpful. I'm going to be doing a couple of other videos kind of going over more points. So always remember to be safe out there and stay beautiful.